Hey everybody, this is Kevin Spann, the insurance guru, coming to you with the question that I received. The question is, what is the purpose of renters insurance? Why is renters insurance important? I thought I would do something different this week. Rather than just answer it off the top of my head, I want to break down a brochure for you. I just want to break it down to the very last compound and simplify everything for you. So all insurance companies, including mine, we spend a lot of money creating nice trifold brochures with the hope that we put it out someplace and the average consumer will pick it up in your apartment building, in the store. You'll read it, you'll digest all this information, and you'll say, okay, that's exactly what I need. I completely understand it. I'm ready to buy a policy. In real life, it doesn't work that way. I know for me, I'm a low-tech person. I don't want the brochure for anything. I'd rather have a person explain to me what I need to know so I can do what I have to do. No more, no less. So let me see if I can do the same thing for you. So here we have this wonderful renters insurance brochure. It says, show your stuff a little love. And you've got a nice gentleman on the front here. Looks like he's laid back and he's working on his tablet or Surface, whatever he has. You open it up, we've got protect your stuff, and we talk about some of the common things that everyone usually probably has. It talks about the fact that your landlord protects your place, but he's not responsible for what's inside. So your landlord does have insurance for his building, for his house, but he's not responsible for your personal belongings, your TV, your couch, your laptop, your phone, so on and so forth. If they're damaged, stolen, or destroyed in some other way, your landlord is not going to give you back those things. So that's one of the reasons why renters insurance is important. Next thing we have on the brochure, we also have on the inside, we have this young lady and she has a helmet on and she's riding what appears to be a very expensive bike. Side note, if you have a bike, and these bikes are really expensive, I don't know what they run. I'm actually not a bike rider myself, but God forbid if that bike is stolen on premises or off premises, you want to have renters insurance to make sure it would be replaced. Back of the brochure is even funnier than the front. It kind of directs you to come see me in Middle Village. That's funny. I run a retail business in a digital world. Everyone wants to watch videos and learn everything they can online. No one wants to get in a car to drive to see anyone. So that's why I'm here talking to you by video today. So let's continue to talk about the renters insurance policy. What does it do and why is it important? First off, before I sell you something and tell you why you should buy it, I should be able to tell you what it does, what coverage it provides, and what it's there for. So in insurance language, we say things like, it gives you personal property coverage. It helps protect your belongings in case of loss or damage from lightning, falling objects, fires, smoke, explosion, wind and hail, water damage from plumbing, steam, water system vandalism, riots, theft, forgery, etc. What's really important? If you live in the downstate New York area, which a lot of people watching this video do, you know that the news every night leads with a fire. God forbid if there's a fire in your building and you're displaced, renters insurance will do a few things. One, it will replace your personal belongings. Number two, if the fire is your fault, it will pay liability for any damage that you cause to you or your neighbor. The most common cause of loss that we see in renters insurance is not actually fire, it's water damage. New York City is an older city. Most of the buildings are older and there are all sort of water problems that come with that. God forbid if one day the water is off in your building and you're testing to see if it's back on and you turn the tub on, real example, you go shopping, you go do what you have to do and you come back, your tub is not only flooded your apartment, but it's also seeped through the walls and did damage to your neighbor beneath you. Renters insurance will cover your place and any damage that you've caused. Okay, back to the fire, for example. One of the worst fire losses I've experienced very recently, a person that I insure, there was a fire in an adjoining building next to her. It took out about the apartments of about 8 to 10 families. They were displaced. My client her fiance, their young daughter, they left in the middle of the night with just the clothes on their back. They lost everything: shoes, clothes, appliances, bags, everything. What does renters insurance do besides replace your personal belongings? The single most important part of renters insurance is that it gives you something called additional living expenses. Break it down one time, Kevin. What does that mean? Additional living expenses means that we will pay to put you and your family up in a hotel or a comparable apartment until you can move back into your place again. Okay? Kevin, talk to me. What do you mean by that? Well, in the case of the young lady and her family who lost their apartment due to this fire, they could not live in their apartment for 6 months. Within the cost of this renter's insurance, I have to tell you, it's very, very affordable. It can cost as little as $10 to $15 per month and more, depending on how much stuff you have to protect. We're going to put you up for months. Now, if you've ever stayed in a hotel in this area, you know you cannot book a hotel anywhere in the New York area for less than $200 to $300 a night. Meanwhile, a renter's insurance policy might only cost $150 to $300 for the whole year. You get the math: $150 for a year, $150 to $300 for a night. The thing that I always say to people is you can get through anything as long as you're with your loved ones. I've had an experience where I insured a large family, a couple, and they had 4 to 5 children. After Hurricane Sandy, I gave them a call to check on them to see how they were doing. I knew they lived in the Rockaways. They said, Kevin, we're making it. I'm here with one of the kids. My husband's staying with this one, with 2 of the kids, and 2 of the other kids, they're staying with someone else. And I said, why are you doing that? She said, well, our family is too big. No one could take all of us in. I said, do me a favor. Let's talk. I want you guys to book a hotel room because you have renters insurance with me, and we're going to keep your family together. That's the single most important thing. You can make it through the rest as long as you are together. So let's keep breaking the brochure down. I've talked about personal property protection. I've talked about additional living expenses, but let's go back to all those insurance words about what am I covered for? Fire, smoke damage. The fire doesn't have to touch your apartment, but if it's near you and there's so much smoke, all your clothes are smoked out, all your bedding is smoked out, all your towels is all smoked out, and you can't stay there, we got you. We'll take care of you. That is a covered insurance peril. Kevin, what if I'm robbed? Yes, absolutely. That's included. Theft and robbery is covered. Kevin, what if something happens to me away from my apartment? Well, there's an additional coverage called off-premises theft that you should include, especially if you know that you're going to be traveling a lot and you want to make sure your computer, your laptop, your PC is covered away from your place. Kevin, is there anything else I should think about or be aware of? Absolutely. All insurance policies have certain limits of coverage. That means they're covered up to the amount that's listed on the policy, no more, no less. There are some things that you should talk to any insurance company that you choose about. For example, should I schedule my jewelry or is my jewelry automatically included? It is included, but with a very small limit of coverage. What about cash? Very small limit of coverage. That's something you want to talk to a person about. Kevin, you're talking about talking to people. I like to do things online. I prefer not to talk to people. Well, it's good. I do a lot of research online. I Google everything I can. I YouTube everything that I can. But at the end of the day, when I'm getting ready to spend money, I like to call someone that not only I can talk to once, but more than once so they can explain it to me so I can be sure of what I'm purchasing. And I'll give you one last jewel of a question from me to you. Always ask the person you're speaking to, or even ask online, what's not covered by this policy. This is how you can tell whether you're talking to an experienced, credible person like myself, or if you're talking to someone that may not know what they're doing. Every policy has certain things that are covered and there are things that are not covered. If that person can't answer the question, what's not covered, call somebody else. Call me, call Kevin Spann, the insurance guru. Nothing covers everything in the world. If you say what's not covered and they say everything's covered, say goodbye and please talk to someone else, because they won't be able to explain it, and you'll be extremely disappointed in the event that you have a loss such as fire, smoke damage, water damage, and they don't tell you. Kevin, what's an example of something that's not covered? The easiest example, and I don't want to do anybody's job for them, intentional acts are never covered. Okay, so if you're the one that sets the fire, no, we're not going to pay that claim. No one's policy is going to include that. But there's several other things that you need to know, and this is why you want to talk to not just anyone, but a guru, a home insurance expert, an apartment insurance expert that can help you with these things so you can protect what you work hard to earn. This is Kevin Spann coming from me to you, breaking down the brochure so you can better understand renter's insurance, why it's important. Take care. Until next time.